So, today we're going to talk about the wisdom of Ajaan Dune Atulo. He was a legendary meditation master from Thailand's forest tradition, and he was known for being incredibly direct. Seriously, his students said he was always brief, careful, and right to the point, never wasted a single word. So let's get right to the very heart of what he had to teach.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Imagine for a second you could ask a master, someone who's spent decades in deep practice, for the one piece of advice that matters more than anything else. Not some complex theory, but the single most essential instruction. What do you think it would be? Well, someone actually asked Ajaan Dune that very question.
And this was his answer. Just 3 simple words. Don't send your mind outside. That's it. This one little phrase is the key to his entire teaching, and we're going to spend the next few minutes unpacking exactly what it means and why it's so unbelievably powerful.
So what does it actually mean to not send the mind outside? I mean, it sounds simple, but it goes against pretty much everything we do every single day. Let's break down how Ajaan Dune explained it.
What's so fascinating is the first thing he means by this. Outside isn't just the physical world around you. It's also all the theories, all the ideas, all the concepts we've collected in our heads. He's basically saying, put down the books, drop the intellectual analysis for a minute, and just be with the direct experience of your own mind.
He breaks it down into this really simple process. First, you just cut away the noise. The worries, the plans, the endless to-do lists. Then, instead of filling that quiet space with more ideas, you just wait. You let real, genuine understanding bubble up directly from a mind that's finally quiet and still.
Okay, so we're not supposed to send the mind out. We get it. But why is this the most important rule? Well, according to Ajaan Dune, this one single habit is the root cause of pretty much all our daily struggles.
This was his simple diagnosis of the human condition. Something he said after advising a woman who was really distressed about her family. Think about it. It's not usually the external events that cause our deepest pain, but it's our own minds reacting to them, sending our thoughts out to latch onto stories, judgments, and fears.
This really illustrates the 2 choices we have in every single moment. When the mind is sent outside, chasing things, labeling them good or bad, that's where suffering is born. But when the mind turns inward to simply see itself, to watch its own process, that is the path to freedom. So the crucial point here is, the problem and the solution are in the exact same place.
This all sounds good in theory, right? But how does it actually work in practice? Let's look at some real-world examples from Ajaan Dune's teaching.
This is a classic one. A lot of people, when their mind starts to settle down, they start seeing things. Lights, images, maybe even heavens or hells. It can be pretty exciting for sure, but it can also be a massive distraction. So what did the master say about this?
This is such a sharp and subtle instruction. He's not denying the experience. He's saying, yes, the act of seeing happened. That was real. But the content, the story, the image of a heavenly palace or whatever, that's just a creation of the mind. It's just another outside object to get lost in.
And here's the practical technique. Don't get caught up in the movie playing in your head. Don't try to figure out what it all means. Instead, just shift your attention back from the object to the subject. Who or what is aware of this vision? But turning back to awareness itself, the vision loses its power and just dissolves. You've brought your mind back home.
Now, this isn't just for seasoned meditators. Ajaan Dune made it really clear this practice is for everyone. Check out this exchange. A woman with a busy government job came to him asking for a protective amulet, what she called something good. He told her the real good actually comes from meditation, but she immediately hit him with a very, very common excuse. And that was his perfect, direct response. He completely reframed meditation. It's not some special activity you have to set aside an hour for. It's simply the practice of being aware. And since you're breathing anyway, you can always bring your attention back from that outside world to the simple feeling of your own breath. Right here, right now. Of course, anyone who has actually tried this knows it's not always easy. The mind has a lifetime of momentum sending it outward. So what do we do when it just won't settle down? This is the voice of so many of us, right? I mean, who hasn't felt this? A student came to him expressing this exact frustration. That feeling that you're failing, that your mind is just too wild and you're not getting anywhere. It's such a critical moment in anyone's practice. Ajaan Dune's answer completely flips the goal on its head. Notice he doesn't give some new trick to force the mind to be still. He just says the practice is to be aware of the mind's actual state. If it's restless, your job is simply to know, it is restless. That's it. You're not trying to achieve some special state, you're just being honest about the one you're in.
And this is the key takeaway, right here. Success in meditation isn't a still mind. Success is a knowing mind. The moment you shift your goal from achieving an outcome to simply being aware of the process, all that pressure just vanishes. The restlessness isn't a failure anymore, it's just another object for your awareness to notice.
So as we bring all of this together, we can see that all of Ajaan Dune's advice, no matter the situation, it all points back to the same essential act.
He saw the entire vast body of spiritual teachings as having one single purpose: to convince us to stop looking outside for answers and to finally turn our attention inward, to the mind itself. Everything else is just a method to get you to this one spot.
And this is the teaching in its purest form. This is the ultimate shortcut. You don't need complicated rituals or deep philosophies. The most effective practice is the most direct one. Let the mind observe itself. Keep your awareness right here, where all of your experience arises and ceases.
And so we'll end with this question turned back to you. Ajaan Dune insisted that true knowledge doesn't come from a teacher or a book, but from what you discover inside yourself. So if you were to follow this one simple instruction, to not send your mind outside, what do you think you might find waiting there?